Good day, participants. So, we are now in our discussion of results. So, in our previous discussion, Dr. Ramil discussed the proposed intervention strategies you will use in solving your problem. Also discuss the methodology used in research. So, I hope you're already familiar with that. Okay. So after this methodology, so we are now in our discussion of results. Okay. After you gather the data, so we will now have the discussion of the results. Okay. How do we discuss the results? We have two types or two ways to present our results of the study. Okay. We have here, so it could be textual analysis or non-textual analysis. So what is the difference of the two? So textual, so the word text. Okay. So you will narrate the results of your study. Okay, the pre-assessment and the post-assessment or the analysis. While the non-textual, this is using graphs, tables, charts, okay, etc. Okay, so I hope you are able to distinguish the two types in presenting your results. Okay, so what is textual? So for non-textual analysis, number one, discuss the extremities, so highest and lowest or mean. For example, okay, so this is non-textual. So you can use tables, graphs, charts, graphs, okay, to have your analysis. Okay, number two, discuss other relevant results. Okay, so you try to determine other relevant results that would answer also in your research questions. Okay. I think you're familiar with this already, especially number one. If you are already a graduate of master's degree, usually the pattern in explaining the tables in your research paper is you just find the highest and the lowest mean. Okay, almost the same with this action research. Okay, then number three, support with related innovation, intervention, and strategies. Okay, so here, so you are going to support your results with a literature review. Okay, so to make your result more appealing. Okay, so you try to find uh, related studies conducted before that would give similar results to your study. Okay, to strengthen your result of the study. Okay, so a citation for your results. Okay, so this is example of non-textual. So we use here tables. So as you can see here, I have here the 4 columns. So this is the oral communication skills. Okay, then we have your first round and the final round. Okay, so where is coming from the skills. So this is it came from the rubric. Okay, the rubric you can search in the internet. Okay, it depends upon the problem you are conducting. Okay, so you can have that in Google. You can search for the rubric to assess the performance of your students. Okay, so here it is the rubric here. The first round, so this is the mean 2.27, then 2.23, 16, 2.24. Then the remarks, so it's also based on the rubric. Okay, so it could be needs improvement, etc. Then the final round, so 2.63, 3.18, etc. So the remarks is good. As you can see here, you're trying to compare the results. So from the beginning of the intervention, then after the intervention, if there is any significant improvement. So from the table, you can clearly see that the intervention is good. Okay, because it improved the oral communication skills of the students based on these 4 criteria. Okay? Okay, next. We have now here this is the this is the textual, okay, textual type of presentation of your results, okay? So here, so you can just enumerate the means of the criteria of your rubrics, okay? So let's read. Pretest on oral communication skills. So it can be seen from the table 1 that the mean performance of students during the oral communication skills pretest where they were not exposed to conversational English approach needs improvement, which means that their phonological awareness 2.7, which includes pronunciation, intonation, and enunciation, morphological ability 2.33, which involves the formation and choice of words, tactical ability 2.21, which investigates structure of English words, phrases, sentences, and semantic knowledge 2.16, which evaluates the correct expressions of meaning must be improved. So this is textual, okay? Way of presenting your result. And another for the post-test. So after the intervention, the mean performance during the oral communication skills post-test, where they were exposed to conversational English approach, is good. So which means that their phonological awareness, which includes pronunciation, intonation, and enunciation, morphological ability, which involves formation and choice of words, and syntactical ability, which investigates structure of English words, phrases and sentences, and semantic knowledge, which evaluates the correct expression of meaning. Okay, so these are the textual way of presenting your results. Okay, and how also you will discuss. Okay, later I will give another example. So based on my research. Okay, so that is okay for textual. Okay, so present the investigated issue. Discuss the essential theme and cite the example for ideas. Then cite the statement from the in-depth interview or focus group discussion. Then support with related innovation, intervention, and strategy. Okay. Okay. So I have here. So this is the coding process of your responses in your data gathering. Okay. So before we have the teams, we have here the raw responses. Okay. So let's have here. So the raw responses, I will just read the research questions. So this is my research question number 1. So what are your experiences as a public school teacher in adapting new technology in the classroom? So this is the research question. So the responses of the participants based on the in-depth interview. So inconvenient and hassle to use for me because we are going to bring gadget. Then the problem sometimes is how to attach the wires. Then here, that's the raw responses. Then the codes we're going to use here is hassle to use. Okay, you can see as I assign here the code hassle to use. So I find it here in this responses. Okay, so how to make the code? So make sure that the idea of the participants are also in line with the code you are going to use. Okay, so it depends upon your study. Okay, so just choose a word that is catchy to your readers. So to sum up these raw responses of your participants. Okay, so in the next answer of your participants, I'm unable to follow the instructions in using the software. Okay, so I give here the code, unable to follow instruction. Okay, next. Sometimes you'll be hanging if there will be no electricity at all. Okay, so I just give the code no electricity. Okay, then fourth, I don't have knowledge in using computers before, but then I have tried to adapt. Okay, so I give the code insufficient knowledge. So that's the code. Okay, so we have generated 4 codes from these responses of the participants. Okay, so the purpose of these codes is to uh, shorten our data, so to make it more compact. Okay, because if you have more data, so you will have a hard time analyzing it. So to sum it up, you will use the codes. Okay, then after codes, we are now assigning teams. What is a team? This is a grouping of ideas or responses from your codes. Okay, so from the codes here generated, so we will make a teams out of it. So you just analyze based from the codes, uh, which codes are similar or can go together. Okay, so example here, the codes hassle to use, unable to follow instruction. So I give that team inconvenience. Okay, so that is my team. Then no electricity, I just change it to no power supply. Okay, then I assign the teams for special knowledge, which is lack of expertise. Okay, so those are the teams. So these teams, you will use this later in your discussion. So you will use this to elaborate the uh, answers of your participants. Okay, what are really their experiences, especially in this adaptation to technology. Okay, another. So in question number 2, this is again a research question. Number 2, based on my study. So how do teachers cope in adapting technology for instruction? So, these are the raw responses. So I asked the assistance of my co-teacher who is expert in using the computer softwares. Then I let others to tutor me in using the softwares. Next, asking help from co-teachers. So next, I let other teachers guide me. And next, I attend hands-on seminars and ask assistance from expert. So based on these responses here, so I give the code to seek help. Okay, so that is my code. Okay, so again, in making codes, make sure it is related to your or the raw responses of your participants. Then I give the teams, since you are looking for help or your participants, so I ask technical assistance as the teams. Okay, next is, so another response is, this is the somehow different from the responses. So I hire somebody to do the job for me. Okay, so here I didn't write any code, so I just put directly to teams. Okay, hire somebody because it's already obvious. Okay, so as you can see, when you have your code, it's like you're grouping the ideas. Okay, so I will give an analogy to it. So it's like having a grocery. Okay, so sample of it. So you like to purchase something. Example, you will buy uh, canned goods. Okay, so there are a lot of canned goods. It could be corned beef, pork and beans, uh, sardines, etc. Okay, so those are the names of the canned goods are the codes, while the themes there is the canned goods or the overall name of your groceries. Okay, did you see the analogy on how to make the codes and themes? Okay, so that is how you organize your thought. Okay, so you try to make a general idea of the responses of the participants. Okay, so later I will present how to discuss these themes. Okay. Okay, here I have here the discussions. Okay, so in question number 1, which is what are your experiences as public school teacher adapting new technology in the classroom? So this is an example of a textual type of discussion. Okay, so here I write here that the prevalent themes are inconvenience, no power supply, lack of expertise, and convenience. Some of the participants are not really good in using computers and other teaching devices. The participants find it more laborious and find time consuming on their part. Okay, then you can attach here the statement of your participant. So participant 1 stated that inconvenient and hassle to use for me because you're going to bring gadget. Sometimes you'll be hanging if there will be no electricity at the time you needed it. Okay, so this is how you discuss the result of your study. Okay, so you will discuss your teams one by one. Okay, so continue. So some participants are used already in using Manila paper and cartulinas as teaching aid. For them, it is more convenient because they can use it even during brownouts. This research finding is also supported by George, who indicated that the primary obstacle in incorporating technology in teaching learning process is the lack of expertise, time, and funds. Then, the theory of planned behavior by Eisen 1991 provides the framework to focus participant responses on their attitudes towards using technology. In this theory, Eisen postulates that attitudes, whether positive or negative, come from our belief and experiences. So, therefore, a teacher's belief about technology can be difficult to change because these beliefs are based on past experience. So, here, I attach here the supporting literatures. Okay? So, like what I've stated earlier in the elements in presenting your uh, results, so you must have a citations also. Okay? So, to enrich your discussion and the result of your study. Okay? So, I hope you get it. Okay? Next. Okay, on the lack of uh, theme, on the theme of lack of expertise, majority of the participants have hard time in the following of commands of the computer. It seems that they cannot absorb the instructions when using the computer. So here, participant 2 stated that I don't comprehend the instruction on computer commands. Okay, so some of them have fear that they might damage the computer and projector. One of the participants says that is afraid, especially in attaching the cables, and find it tiresome also on his part. So this theme is supported by cognitive constructivism theory based on the work of Jean Piaget. Learning is an active process where indirect experiences, making errors, and looking for solutions is vital for the assimilation and accommodation of information. So Byron in 1995 listed several shortcomings related to teacher effectiveness when using technology in instruction. Shortcomings included the lack of faculty training on the use of instructional technology, classrooms that were not designed to support the use of technology. Teachers' doubts about technology would improve their performance, and teachers' concern about whether technology enhances or detracts from teaching and learning. So similar way of presenting, okay? So you discuss your teams, or you try to give meaning from their responses, okay? Then attach your citations to support your output, okay? Another and question. In this question, what are your experiences as public school teacher in adapting new technology? Okay. So again, if you have questions and clarifications, so you can ask me. Write it your comments in our chat box. Okay. So that is the way how we discuss our result in our action research paper. Okay. So this is a with inclination in qualitative research. Okay. So there is no statistical tool use like the usually the mean, yung mga correlation technique, test of difference. So that is for basic research. So you can see in the results and discussion is plainly more on storytelling. So you'll try to depict or shed light to the experiences of, for example, these public school teachers, their sufferings in uh, adapting to technology. Okay, so this is how we discuss our result in action research. Okay, so for more clarification, you can have your questions. Okay, so for your activity, so I want you to make a sample discussion of results. You can have only one question to answer. Okay, so you will not be pressure enough. So just only one from your research question. You try to either you can use textual or non-textual way of presenting. Then you have your discussion, and you can have a support also. You can have only one citation. Okay, so as a practice in making your discussion of results. Okay, so you can also ask my co-speakers and facilitators uh, about our topic if you have more clarifications on how to present or discuss your result. Okay, so do your activity. I'll give you 45 minutes to complete your task. Okay, see you after 45 minutes. Thank you and God bless.